All right, so I got your questions for the Heavenly Heat. Roxana says, how hot did it get and how quickly did it heat up? Roxana, it got to 150 degrees relatively quickly, I think in just over 35 to 40 minutes. But the initial heat up is faster than the sauna right next to it. It's performing really, really well. I've tested it a handful of times now. It's done really great. I turned the AC down to try, I'm in Florida right now instead of Maine. So in order to mimic what it would be like to be in like a 68-degree environment or something like that, we turn the air down really low in the evening and then see how the sauna performs. So the walls are better insulated than a lot of brands. They're a little bit thicker or heavier duty. I don't know if it's because the sauna is not using glue, so they have to kind of beef up in other areas in order to make it, the same strength. But the preheat time was really, really good. Patricia asks about the EMFs. The EMFs were really good, Patricia. It's almost as good as the #1 sauna that has been in the top spot for years. EMF is almost as good as a clear light. I think it's good enough to where this is a better value over the clear light. Obviously, if you're looking for a 0 or near 0 EMF sauna, it's probably not that close. I think there's a couple hot spots in there where you can get up to like 1.5 milligauss, 2 milligauss. Obviously, just like in all the saunas, if you were to take the meter and stick it right in front of, a temperature sensor, a set of wiring connectors or something like that, and shove it into the heater guard, you can generate a hot spot of like 4 milligauss or 5 milligauss or something like that. But what will happen is you'll be moving it along, and then all of a sudden, right where the temperature sensor is, if you jam it in there between the heater guards, you can generate a spike. If you come out to point of body contact where you actually sit though, this EMF is really good. It's one of the only saunas on the market that also has really low ELF. Colin did a jam up job on that. They also have a grounded blocking material in the roof. So there's basically like a grounded shield in the roof before the power supply and the cabling and everything else hooks up. So it keeps the electric fields from penetrating through there, even in the small models, which is really cool. Electric fields from the heaters, they're not 0, but they're pretty darn close. I mean, the certified sauna list requirements are under 100 to 200 volts per meter, under 2 milligauss in seated body position, and that has to check out on body voltage. And generally, we want something that is selectable on Bluetooth, so there's no RF radiation. If there's a smartphone controller, it would be nice if that doesn't ping unless you unplug the sauna from the wall in most cases in order to get that to happen though, because it's constantly searching to be able to use a smartphone app. None of that stuff in here, so I like that. It's also problematic in other companies to get it to connect and work properly. And so none of that here, simple plug and play. I like simple, I like things that don't break. Sauna did really, really well on EMFs. Overall, how would you compare it to RH? Is it more cost efficient compared to others? Well, it's definitely more cost efficient than others because I think it's $500 to $1,000 less for a comparable model. We're going to do a group buy in the Facebook group, so you can save a little bit there. There'll be like a group buy coupon code, or I don't know how it'll be set up. But the sauna makes the cut, so I definitely would recommend taking a look at it. How I rate it to the RH. So there's still things that I like about the RH that this sauna doesn't have. There's things about this sauna that I like that the Clearlight doesn't have. So I don't think there's any one, situation where it's like, this is the best brand for every single person in everyone's situation. If you know me, you know that I don't really like that. I think it comes down to what are your needs? What are you looking for? Does this fit the bill? Does that fit the bill? Does that fit the bill? I mean, there's so many saunas in here. There's something for everyone. I just think this is a really good value for what you're paying for. I like the ethics of the company, and I know for a fact that Colin stands behind the product because I have been working with him for 5 or 6 months to bring this thing up to speed. This is not a new company, just new owners. The company's been around for decades, but this product line is drastically different than the old ones. So I have an old model upstairs. I don't really release too many videos on it. You've probably heard me mention it a couple of times, but I don't really do like review videos because you have to have power tools in order to put it together. This one is not like that at all. So overall, I really like it. As I said, there's certain features and certain things about other brands that this doesn't have, and then also vice versa. So it really comes down to what are you looking for? For me, Well, it comes down to somebody's budget too, right? Like a feature or something that I like in another brand that the Heavenly Heat doesn't have might not be that important to someone else. So it would be more important for them to save $500 or $1,000 when this sauna will work, just as well. I get it. If you want certain things, like I love the corner sauna over there. They don't make a corner sauna. So if you want that, this is out. But you could say the same thing about other ones. The HealthMate that I tested last month, they don't make a one-person sauna. So if you want a one-person sauna, you can't buy that, but these guys make one, or, these guys make. So it's like, yeah, I like other features in other brands. I really like obviously I'm a sucker for the bench heater in the RHs, like you asked about. If you're a person that doesn't need complicated electronics or smartphone apps or anything like that, this is definitely a better value than the Clearlight. Aaliyah says, what is the difficulty level in assembling it? So that would be one of my other, actually, Chris says, how do you rate it to other ones? I think the install procedure in a couple of the other brands is more refined, so it's a little bit easier, but I wouldn't say that this is difficult. I would give it, I don't know, an 8 out of 10, 7 out of 10. Whereas some of the other ones are 10 out of 10, just drop dead simple, can't mess it up, can slide them really easy, or can do this or can do that. A lot of that stuff is situational though. Like if you want to put it on carpet, you can put it on sliders. I should have done that. It's on carpet right now. If I had thought about that or knew what I was getting into with it, it does have more of a floating floor design than most of the saunas where the walls sit on top of the floor. So when you go to grab it to reposition it or something like that, I'm not a huge fan of those clasps or the buckles. It does have, I think, 4 buckles on it, but at least they're recessed. Like it's right behind me right now, and you cannot see them from the side, which I really like. Usually they stick out. They're really ugly. A lot of times they get bent in shipping and stuff like that. And so you can kind of see it when they get mangled. These are recessed. They went together pretty well. Obviously I'm a stickler for stuff because I've done so many different types of saunas. But if you've never put one together before, I would say you wouldn't have any trouble with this and you would like it. No issues there. Sin says, can it be plugged into a standard outlet? More specific, Florida code outlet. Yes, it'll run on a 10-15 amp circuit. Basically, if you can run a vacuum cleaner on the outlet you want to power the sauna on, you can run this sauna. This one, obviously they have other models where you absolutely cannot. I should have said that first. It depends on which it depends on which size or model you're looking at. I'm thinking it's the demo that we're testing out today. Now, if you're talking about a hybrid model, an outdoor model, anything with a traditional heater in it, you're going to need 240 for some of those. I don't remember if the Heavenly Heat does 240 and 110 or 120. I believe it's 2 sets of 120. So you've got 1 set of power for the traditional sauna heater, 1 set of power for the infrared. And those either need to be pulled from a 30 amp circuit and split up, or you need 2 separate 20 amps. I can't remember. Or that would be, you could say 40 amp. I'd have to look at the specs though of every single model. You can't take what I'm saying about this and apply it to one of those, is basically what I was trying to get at. Depends on your situation and where you plan on placing it. Mandeeps, how do you compare it to RH, Clearlight, and Sunlighten? So I sort of went overboard ahead of time and answered this question along with the other ones. How to compare? The only thing I didn't say is about the Sunlighten. This is very similar to a Sunlighten heater layout in that they don't have heaters in the floor. Some people say that you can get, cold legs. However, this heats up a lot better than a Sunlighten. So your core temp or your infrared penetration on your core in this is way, way, way better than a Sunlighten as far as like speed is concerned. Preheats faster. You're going to sweat quicker. A little bit of the cold spot on the floor with the feet. I think they're going to come out with an actual foot bench in here, which would change that. Obviously, this was a pre-production demo that has been shipped around and beat on and everything else that I got to test. But the model that you receive, will be completely refined. I think it's a really good value. How to compare it with? I already said about the Clearlight, the Radiant Health. I mean, obviously I'm a sucker for some of the features in those, but I think if you're looking for value, I mean, this is definitely better value than the clear light, definitely better value than the Sunlighten for sure. Not in Australia, I'm guessing. I don't think so, Sarah. I think it's not available in Australia. I don't know if they plan to do that or not. We'd love to get your general feedback. How did you feel compared to the E1H from Radiant Health? Works really good. On par with the performance of the E1H. Only thing that I really like in the E1H is the floor heater with the tile insert and the bench heater. And the assembly or the overall, it's a different look, right? I don't have an E1H in here to show you, but maybe I could spin. Like this is a modern flush look on the front, and the Radiants look like this. So two completely, totally different things. Some people are going to say, you know, one looks great. Other people are going to say the other one looks terrible. It's all in what you like, what your preference is. Performance, though, I'm big on performance. I keep saying it because it doesn't matter what the sauna looks like. Does it work well? Does it give you a good sweat? Does it deliver on the health benefits? Okay, and these do. So I find them to be a great value. If you're looking for nuanced stuff, you know, that I'm talking about for my situation or what I like, does it have all those? No. Will it work better than something that you're going to get from, you know, Wayfair or some piece of junk from somewhere else that breaks in a few? Absolutely. It's obvious. It's a much better value. Kelly says, interested, they appear to be more in my price range. Yes, Kelly, this should be a good price. Dan says, it looks like they've completely redesigned their units. Dan, they absolutely have. This is nothing like the one I have upstairs with, I mean, the one upstairs, you can, I don't know if I can put a picture on the screen or not, but I mean, it literally has screws just to take it out of the box. If you go in the Certified Sauna community in the Facebook group and you search Heavenly Heat in the search bar and you go back, I don't know, a year, okay? There's private pictures of me in there unboxing a different model from a crate with a drill. Like, you couldn't remove the thing from the box without power tools. I mean, I suppose you could sit there with a screwdriver, but I say 900 screws, but there was literally probably between 30 and 60 screws holding that thing in there. So we're not talking about putting it together. We're talking about taking it out of the crate. Never before in my life had I seen anything like that. I don't think that's practical for a lot of people, but this is completely redesigned, and Colin's been working on this. He's been sending me text messages and videos and pictures for like 5-6 months. You know, what about this? What should we change here? How about this? Do you think this will work? Okay, yes, no, da, 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 da. So they're committed to excellence. They're committed to bringing a quality product to market. That's another reason why I don't hesitate at all, based on my own testing and usage of this thing. You know, the product is good, but also the people are good. So your experience is going to be good. You're going to be well taken care of. Looked into them several years ago. One guy building himself. Heather says, the company was acquired, I think, last year. So Colin's the new owner, and he's who I've been working with to refine this thing, bring the new models up to par. Any reviews of the outdoor units? Wally, I will be testing an outdoor unit. Not available just yet, but as soon as they are, I'll do the outdoor and the hybrid. What is their filter system? I don't know what you mean, Heather. What do you mean by what is their filter system? Are you talking about like for airflow? There's a roof vent. I don't know what you mean other than that. There's no filtration system, if that's what you meant. Debbie says, we're planning to purchase far infrared in the next 2 to 4 weeks. Was planning on love comparison. Looking forward to your analysis. Well, Debbie, based on what I said already, it kind of depends on what you're looking for. If you could kind of drop in the comments exactly what your situation is, and then the 3 most important things that you're looking for in a sauna, I could kind of break it down for you. You know, maybe one of them hits more of the criteria than another, and then you can make a good choice. Tom says, following. Kenny says, any thoughts on Saunas spas? Is there a place to view the dimensions of the interior? Website is great. No pics. Kenny, I think it's just not available on mobile. I think you got to look at it on a desktop. Sometimes the snap to fit on tablet or phones, when you go vertical to horizontal, it's called obfuscation of the pictures. And so I think the specs that you're looking for are there. I think you just have to look at it on a browser. I noticed that on the phones also, or the tablets. It also depends on the orientation. Tiffany, excited to see a review on this. Interested to know if it gets as hot as the RH. It does. Also, are they issuing a Mount Justice discount? Yes, there's going to be a group buy in the Facebook group. There will be a thing. Jen says update. Matt says, can you share a release review? I'm doing it right now. Getting to all your questions. That's all from today. If you have other questions about this, I'll be in it again tonight. Can do live videos for you inside. I've got the tripod equipment set up. I don't know if you can see it here, but we're gonna pan from, we got the big camera. So we'll be doing interior and exterior look. Actually, I can probably show you some of the stuff that I was talking about. If you look at the side of it, I got my, I don't know if you can see it, but I have my vibration plate down here. But this is what I was talking about. They're recessed, so you cannot see them from the front. And the other thing that I was talking about, I don't know if you can see, but there's two more right here. And so when you put it together, it definitely, if you're doing it on carpet or something like that, you'll definitely want to use sliders or be mindful of the positioning that you have it in. But that's all for today. If you guys have other questions, let me know. I'll see you in the comments. And I get your updates to these comments in the Facebook group. So we'll see you in there.